So the most common questions I'm asked by businesses, whether they're a startup or not, come down to 5 bullet points. The first one is about setting expectations. I get asked, what kind of expectations do I need to set? What expectations are unrealistic? How do I know when I've set an expectation that is unrealistic? Should I create expectations on only what I know I can do and not push myself? Where are setting expectations appropriate in my business? Is there a secret to setting and accomplishing expectations? How do I know when it's too much? How do I know when the expectation bar is not high enough? These are all great questions. My advice is simple. You have to train for what you expect. Set up your staff to excel. Talk to your employees. Their input will allow you to strengthen your training and set realistic objectives for their processes. The next subject is about goals. What method should I use when setting goals? What are SMART goals? How will they help me? Is there a number of goals that I should make for optimal results? Should all my goals be about my business? Is there a ratio to create balance between business and personal? Do I have to put my life on a time constraint to accomplish my goals? This is always a big question. How do I know when I have written my goals correctly? Because this is all new to me. What happens if I fail to meet a goal? Goals are a really weighty subject. So many variables to consider. My number one rule is to make your goal measurable and bound by time. An example is X number of sales by 12/10/2022. Make sure they're relevant to the business objectives. Specificity is the key in writing goals and in making them actionable. S equals specific, M means that they're measurable, A means that they're achievable, R means that they're relevant, and time means that they're timely. It equals a SMART goal. The third subject is around boundaries. Now, boundaries with business owners are usually a foreign concept. What makes boundaries important? Who should set boundaries? Should I set time-based boundaries? How do I know if I need to set a boundary? Do I need boundaries in the client relationships I build? Really great question, especially for service-based businesses. How does respect show up in boundaries? What happens if I have no boundaries? How will a lack of boundaries affect the business I am building? Boundaries are just as important in business as they are in one's personal life. Boundaries are a line that defines one area from another. They can be invisible or marked with fencing or markers. Boundaries can mark ethical issues or personal lines that should not be crossed. They help businesses define things such as what is late or what constitutes stealing. Did I cross a boundary if I accidentally took home a pencil that I was working with and I took it home with me? Boundaries and ethics go hand in hand. So understand that. The fourth subject is around structure. What are the key structures I need to create in my business? Are these structures exclusive to my industry? What happens if structure is not in place? Do I need a business structure? How will a marketing structure help me? Do I need programs to be successful? Is planning part of structure? And what happens if I'm not good at planning or structure? Structure is important for any business, and startups have an important set of choices to make from the start. Will you have a charitable component to the business? How much of a charitable component? Do we need to explore B Corps or LLC3s? In the very least, as business owners, we should be looking at LLCs to take full advantage of the tax laws. Talk to your attorney or accountant about being taxed as an S Corp if your business entity is an LLC. The last subject that we have questions on often is customer niche. Why do I need a customer niche when I want to help everyone? How does a niche serve my practice or business? If I could choose a niche, what if I choose a niche and it just doesn't work? What happens if I get tired of the issues my niche is presenting to me? How much will it cost me if I have to change my niche? What happens if my passion is broader than the niche I choose? If I never choose a niche, what will happen? Will my marketing have to be niche specific? I know you've heard this before, and it is tried and true. The riches are in the niches. Why is that? It's really quite simple. We're all bombarded with emails and text every day. Did you ever stop and wonder which emails or texts you open and read versus the ones you just delete? I will bet the ones you open are speaking directly to you, your circumstance, or your business needs. This means the person marketing to you has niched down to develop messaging specifically for you and your business. We all have a niche we work in and one that we work on. Consistency is the key in marketing. Just because we are marketing to nurses who are moms, for example, does not mean that other nurses will not respond. Marketing to multiple niches is an option always. However, marketing without a niche is an epic fail. Get specific as to who you want in your pipeline.
Move freely, America, without medical restrictions or penalty. Without medical freedom legislation in place, our rights and freedoms are one vote away from being dissolved. Move freely, America, with one voice, without fear of retribution, achieving a common goal, medical freedom. We the people make our voices heard by connecting with state legislators and engaging a constitutionally compliant medical Bill of Rights for all citizens. Individually, change is improbable, but as an aggregate, attainable. It's time to act with one voice. My voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
To protect our freedom, creating one voice that cannot be ignored. This requires your voice, too. Move Freely America. Go to movefreelyamerica.org to find a chapter near you. Plug in, donate, and help our legislators defend our God-given rights under the Constitution. Move Freely America. My voice.
And my voice.
And together with your voice, we're one voice that cannot be ignored. Donate today. MoveFreelyAmerica.org.
It seems like there's never enough time in your business to get everything done that you need to. Searching for the right employees to represent your brand and satisfy your customers was already hard enough, and now there are even fewer options out there. How do you find the right people and keep them? My name is Terrell Tipton with Insperity, and we offer HR services that make your company make sense. Too often, local business owners take on HR activities wanting to run their business on a shoestring, but that can mean sacrificing revenue-generating activities that allow you to continue to grow and serve your community at the level you want. Call 972-409-4316 today. I'll walk you through Insperity's outsourced HR services and health insurance options and help you come up with a plan that gets the most out of your business and your budget. Insperity provides stability to businesses in uncertain times and has been helping companies just like yours since 1986. Call 972-409-4316 and talk to me, Terrell Tipton. It's time for your business to run better, grow faster, and make more money. 972-409-4316. Call today. One last time, 972-409-4316.
You're tuned into Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen brings energy, focus, and creativity with the most cutting-edge tools and systems needed to grow business, drive profits, and achieve dreams. Ready to rise? Here's your host, Doreen Milano.
So, hello, everybody. And today I am talking to Brandon Moody. And Brandon is from Flooring Inspirations. And you're down in Roanoke?
Roanoke, yes, Roanoke, Texas.
Awesome. And that business belongs to mom and dad, right?
Yes, currently for 48 years almost now.
Wow. And you're looking at the possibility of purchasing that business?
Yes, my dad's earned his stripes for 48 years, and they'd like to kind of enjoy what retirement without having to talk about business looks like. So that is the goal, yes.
So in this process, what most business owners and purchasers of a proposed business don't seem to understand is that this doesn't happen overnight.
No, and not without headache. That's for sure.
And so can you share some of the process with us?
Dialing down out of a parent's situation of seeing what they're going to want, expectations, the trust factor that I'm going to be able to deliver. Those are all the pain points that come up that I'd say is probably what causes the timetable to adjust as we work through the process. So unexpected things that we didn't even know that we needed to take care of before
you actually start the process.
Before we actually start the process.
So it has been my experience with the number of buy-sells that I've been through in my career is that from idea or the inspiration to execution is usually 6 months to a year. And
not 2 months, right? Not 2 months.
Not 2 months, not usually. But the other side of this, in really looking at this possibility of buying mom and dad's business, there was another inspiration that happened. A hole that you saw in the market that you thought would be a real viable thing to look at.
Yeah, there's in our industry, there's and I would believe in most industries, there's a situation where there's in construction at least, there's a consumer and the labor person that would be actually executing what that consumer is wanting, and it's not a unknown thing at this time that there's a large amount of jobs available and a large amount of people that are quitting jobs all at the same time. And so it's
a unique time, right?
It's a very unique time. And so, yeah, I've seen an opportunity where it's a certain group of individuals that are needing jobs or a change in job or look at a different aspect of life to fulfill a need that we have in my industry. And
so with that in mind, you have really quadrupled your workload.
It can potentially get to that pace. Yes. I'm a big believer in the more people I help, the more that the byproduct is happiness and finances for everybody else too. So,
so not only going through a buy-sell with mom and dad's business potentially, but also developing a brand new business as an adjunct.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that is a lot of work, my friend.
That is a lot of work. As I've recently, in the last few minutes, met with an attorney that has even put more on top of that.
Yes.
that spectrum. So yeah, it's a very daunting task, but you're so great at helping us keep on goals orientation that I know that the goal is already established and it's already happened. It's just we get to go through the journey with everybody to get there.
And it does take a team.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not something that you're going to just push a button and it magically unfolds.
Correct.
Right?
That's kind of almost like how the last 48 years has looked. It's been trying to do it just by ourselves. It gets a little difficult.
Well, can I shed a little light here?
Absolutely.
One of the things that I ask businesses I work with to get very clear on is that it's not just you. It takes a team. And whether it's a team of advisors or it's a team of individuals that are going to actually coach you and give you the missing pieces. Because there's always missing pieces between established businesses and startups and everything in between. There's always something that is not quite right. There's a missing piece, right?
Absolutely.
And if we're focused on just doing business, we're not focusing on solving that missing piece and getting that piece put into place so that things get easier, right?
Absolutely.
So what have you found in this journey?
Biggest process, putting ego and pride aside. That's I think to me, the biggest detriment of not being able to grow. So going through goal setting, being coachable
Yeah.
That was one of the big words that I think you just said in that sentence you said was the coachability. I think when it comes to business owners or entrepreneurs, we can start out being coachable because we know that we have to have some information that we didn't know.
Some input?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at some point you have to say, I don't know what I need to know, and I need to surround myself with people that know it.
Mm-hmm.
And so being coachable is, I think, one of those big things that for you, I had to get really used to. Being okay to be told what to do and trust the process.
Well, and in the startup mode, there is a lot to do.
Oh, absolutely. Things that I didn't even know.
You know, from idea to concept to execution, there is a myriad of things that have to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about that myriad of things, those pieces end up being a huge part of the foundation of the new business, right?
Absolutely.
Now, when we talked about this, one of the things that came up was going through the core values of this new business, right? And what happens if you actually buy mom and dad's business? Because the core values for that business are not the same as what you're creating.
Well, absolutely, because we were a small company with very few employees. And if those employees were there, they were actually family or friends. So the HR, the employment side of all of it was kind of muddy, wasn't very clear. Now going through a startup company of where it's solely focused on the people, the employee, so to speak, more. It's going down roads that I've never actually thought I would have to go through just to make sure that the company is copacetic for the employee and not just more employer driven, which is what we've actually been for the last.
That was the past.
That was the past. Yes.
And so there is a new focus.
Yeah. Like employee handbook. Wow.
Who knew?
Who knew you had to have one of those?
Who knew? Well,
So,
it's
yeah.
one of the things you do have to have.
Yeah.
It helps people understand the expectation and the boundaries. And the employee handbook is there to set all that in writing.
A lot of assuming in small business.
Oh, yeah.
It's assuming is what I think is what's gotten us into that muddy water. Just assume that this is how it's supposed to be, where you got to have some clarity. And people need clarity to be able to get a job done. So
Absolutely. And when it comes to training people, right, which is going to be a big part of
yes.
this new endeavor, if you don't have expectations set, if you are not clear on how you're going to execute that, it becomes even more muddy.
Yeah, because more people involved. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
More hands.
More hands, more brains, more assumptions, right?
Absolutely.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to just take a moment and we're going to talk to our sponsors, and they're going to give us some clarity about what marketing is going to be about. And then we're going to come back and we'll be right back with Brandon Moody.
Excellent.
The OBBM Network is the premier voice for local business, and we take that responsibility seriously. The OBBM Network has everything you need to grow and transition your business for success on popular syndicated podcast networks, Roku and other video channels, and the OBBM Network app. We work for you, local business, and we've got your back. Multiple streams of income are the local business owner's new protection against inflation. If you enjoy sharing health insights and helping others live their healthiest lifestyle possible, you can create wealth for yourself and your family by doing what you love to do every day. Call 469-939-8933. Discover how to incorporate additional financial revenue into your love of health and wellness and the work you're already doing, using your time wisely and leveraging networks you already work with. Ready to learn more? Join the Wellness Institute's Carola Bradas, subject of the book, Look Beyond Tomorrow, to help even more people realize their potential and achieve their health goals. Build a side business with products sourced in North America and protect your bottom line. Call 469-939-8933 today. That's 469-939-8933. Call now.
We're back and we're talking to Brandon Moody, and we're talking about startup businesses and existing businesses, right?
Yes.
And this, either you have a startup or you have a business that already exists, right? And if we really want to be clear, we have a whole generation that is looking to retire, and they're looking to sell their businesses. And I believe I read a statistic the other day that said something like 95% of those businesses that baby boomers own are not going to be sellable. They're not going to hit the marketplace. So what makes Flooring Inspirations a saleable business?
Well,
what makes it important to you?
Yeah, well, I've spent a decade now in the Flooring Inspiration side and absorbing all that the construction industry has for it. Previously to that, I was in a HIPAA compliancy.
Right.
So coming into Texas, construction compliancy has been a little different.
Well, it's very different here.
Yeah, very different.
Very different.
Very different. And so what we have is all of us in my industry, in the flooring industry, we have a standard of here's the materials we get to meet. And we all basically have the access to the same materials. It's the execution of it actually getting installed, the customer experience through the process, to the close to the end. And so
that's huge.
Totally huge. And for us, it's how do we execute and what niche do we find ourselves in?
The value you bring.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
For us, it's all the different niches that we can fall into in our industry. And we have to choose one. And so we chose the upper end of our industry. So I believe Flooring Inspirations, when we look at what's going on in comedy locally here, we positioned ourselves, and kudos to my parents, my father, and to my grandfather before him, in building a foundation for us on the installation side that allows us to separate ourselves from our competitors.
Which is huge.
Huge.
Market dominating position. Big thing.
Absolutely. I'd say with doing some market research, maybe there's only one or two companies that sit side by side with us. But for the most part, we would say that we excel in our customer experience and making them feel comfortable about us coming into their homes, which is a big deal, especially with all the people that are moving into the state and into the area specifically. We have a comfort level that we hopefully bring to the consumer. So.
Awesome. So as we look at Flooring Inspirations as the standalone that you want to buy, and the startup that you're creating, they're two different entities. They're apples and oranges, so to speak.
Yes.
I mean, they're symbiotic. They support each other, but the focus is completely different.
The focus on what we would say is United Labor Force versus Flooring Inspirations. United Labor Force is solely focused on helping a part of our community, a veteran part of our community specifically, and allowing them to possibly either provide a better trade for them that they may not have now, provide a better lifestyle than what they may not have now, give them opportunity just to grow in other aspects of their life through a United Labor Force to be able to make that happen. And there's a large group of those individuals that are in our area that are moving in every day, that served our country.
And need support.
Bled, sweat, and cried over our country, and then come back into our area, and there's a lot of question marks a lot of time. And so we try to hopefully be a part in fulfilling some of those question marks for them and helping the community in the result in the building industry.
So tell me something here. How is United Labor Force and Flooring Inspirations coming together to make a difference? Because one of the things that you told me about Flooring Inspirations is that the employment piece of it is a different kind of piece. And it's something that goes on in the trades all the time, where your labor force is a 1099 labor force. They're not employees.
That was an interesting thing when I actually got into this industry, was I didn't realize the mass amounts of the labor force that works on an individual building, how much of it is 1099. and how much of it, if we were to say a lot of the cash flow doesn't always necessarily circulate back into the immediate economy in the area.
Right.
And so with Flooring Inspirations and its entities that it has now as contracts, United Labor Force, and bringing that on is now we're able to actually hire a W-2, which in turn gives us a few more things advantage-wise versus a 1099, i.e. control. Hey, we can show up to a job at 8 o'clock and we leave at 5
We can
o'clock.
make time commitments.
We can make time commitments. It's amazing, and actually meet them and finish them. And not only that, but it's helping the local citizen and generating not just a good outcome for them as far as a build and the consumer just getting a great product, but it's really the individual that's the W-2 versus the 1099. There's a large population that looks to be a W-2.
There is.
And there's not a lot in our industry.
And wanting to have the benefits that a W-2 employee
yeah.
Yes, I mean, that's
paid
huge.
vacations. I don't think any of my 1099
Medical and dental.
ever heard of that. Yeah.
401ks. I mean, there's
401ks is
all kinds of things that come into
that's an oddity in the construction industry. Retirement.
Yes.
My parents going through this immediate thing of trying to figure out how we retire. Well, that's why I'm in the process of purchasing, because there really actually isn't a retirement process in the flooring industry. So.
Or in any business.
Probably. Unless
To be
it's like a big
honest.
corporate.
Yeah, in any business, that is not part of the focus.
Yeah.
Which is why, when we talk about businesses and we talk about how businesses are going to succeed and move forward, bringing financial advisors into the business is one of the things I really purport, because taking a slice of those profits, those net profits, and building the future is got to be necessary.
Well, Doreen, I have gotten business to love on people, and I didn't go through the education to do all the things that all of what you're talking about, the HR departments, the entities to help you get the employee handbooks, the attorneys, the things that we didn't have to do as a small business.
Yeah.
That now we're moving into a larger business.
And you can outsource those things.
It has to be outsourced. I didn't go to school to be a professional at all of those things. So for me, it has to be outsourced in a comfortability of a person that I feel comfortable with doing business with.
Yeah.
But they understand a different avenue that I can never understand, nor do I have the time or bandwidth to understand, that they have to do. And I'm more than willing to compensate them for doing it. So it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to do what we really do and love on people. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Thank you.
Business owners, what did you learn from this? Understand that you don't have to do it all. There are things that you can outsource, and we will see you at the next show. Have a great day. Hey, Doreen Milano here. You already know the squeeze family businesses have in acquiring new talent. You could also be feeling that very same squeeze when it comes to growing your business and gaining new clients. What if I told you there was a way to become the employee of choice in your field? How would you like more cash flow, more clients who love you, and employees who feel great working with you and your clients? I've helped hundreds of family-owned businesses, just like yours, who are now reaping the benefits of plentiful cash flow, increased revenue in the millions, employees who love where they work, and loyal clients. I've spent over 30 years developing the tool chest and working in the corporate space, helping companies of all sizes attain maximum profitability. You are not wrong or at fault. The struggle in family business is very real. Your business needs more cash flow, more profits, more leads, and happy employees. Spending the last 12 years working with family businesses, I've been upgrading and proving that these strategies actually work. The system is based on several key strategic components around people, strategies, process, and profits. I'm sharing my strategies with the owners of family businesses who want an edge in today's challenging market without having to reinvent the wheel. If you want to know more, go to v2e.biz or give me a call at 650-483-5798.
This has been Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen Milano solves problems for small and mid-market family-owned businesses and service-based industries. To work with Doreen, go to v2e.biz. For guest and sponsorship information, call 650-483-5798. Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano is produced by Offbeat Business Media for the OBBM Network. For OBBM Network programming information, call 214-714-0495. Unauthorized use of any part of Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano without prior permission through the OBBM Network is strictly prohibited.